Thank you so much. As someone once said, don't be humble, you're not that great. I want to thank Allison, David, and also Anne so much for this overwhelming introduction. It's a great pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure and an honor to receive an award in Rachel Carson's name from such a distinguished and important organization as the Audubon Society. So a hand to the Audubon Society. Of course, the American Museum of Natural History and the Audubon Society have a thing or two in common: a shared love of nature, including birds, and the pursuit of science and education. Our stories also share an extraordinary scientist, Frank Chapman, who was the museum's first ornithologist, as well as the founder of what would become the Audubon magazine, and the creator of the Society's first Christmas bird count. He envisioned a new kind of exhibition hall at the museum, one devoted to birds, of course, which would not only educate people, but seek to influence public opinion and stimulate policy reform for protecting birds. The hall, which still stands, presents habitat dioramas showing North American birds in their natural settings, including, importantly, birds of Pelican Island in Florida, an important nesting ground where birds were being wantonly hunted and their plumage used in ladies' hats. The hall opened, public sentiment and indeed did begin to shift, and Chapman then appealed directly to President Theodore Roosevelt, who responded by establishing Pelican Island as the nation's first federal bird reserve, the first land ever set aside by the United States government for wildlife. Roosevelt and Chapman maintained a 20-year correspondence around issues of science and nature, and together became very important in the founding of the American conservation movement. I mention all of this only because it illustrates the impact that institutions like ours can have through our scientific research, exhibitions, educational offerings, as well as through the work of our Center for Biodiversity and Conservation, which works worldwide to mitigate threats of biodiversity. One of my favorite quotations from Rachel Carson is this: "If I had influence with the good fairy who is supposed to preside over children," she wrote, "I should ask that her gift to each child in the world be a sense of wonder so indestructible that it would last throughout life, as an unfailing antidote against boredom and the disenchantments of later years, the sterile preoccupation with things that are artificial, the alienation from our sources of strength. That sense of wonder is the wellspring and catalyst of environmental stewardship. I am privileged to be part of an organization devoted to sparking and nourishing that instinct, and I am very honored today by this award. Thank you so much.